Zatanna, issue number 1. That's right, folks. DC All In is giving us the book we've all been waiting for. Zatanna. Why does she never have an ongoing book? I feel like a lot of writers would want to do that. Is she better served as, like, a trade character where you just, like, do the mini-series, you put out the trade, and all the fans of the character buy the trade up, and it's, like, a really good selling trade? Maybe that's it. Maybe, like, ongoing... I don't know. It's weird. Maybe ongoing's too hard for her. But we just had a Zatanna miniseries from Black Label a couple months ago, Bring Down the House. Well, that was out of continuity. So this is in continuity. It has to be because it's under the All In banner. This is Jamal Campbell. He's doing all of the artwork and writing for this book. It looks gorgeous. That goes without saying. One of the best artists we have working in comics today. DC has a stacked house of talent, man. It is fantastic to see who they're working with. And I love when you can just tell a creator is so entranced by a character. I love that feeling so much. And that is the feeling I get from Jamal Campbell here. Somebody who is like, this is just the perfect blend of the stuff I want to draw with a character I want to talk about. I like show business and luxury and just like things looking glamorous and glitzy, and you know, my coloring style really lends itself to that. And it's so good. It is so good. This book is literally what I'd want from a Zatanna book. In Bring Down the House, it was so much of like that Las Vegas showy pop star iconography, which I really dug. This is just old Hollywood. And I'm like, you've just done 2 Zatanna books that are dealing with 2 of my favorite themes? Old school Hollywood and Las Vegas? Well, I'm sold. I am sold. I'm sold on this. It's such a fun read. So this book opens up, and we get some narration that's like, once upon a time that was and was not, there was a princess. And we see that it looks like a baby Zatanna is being read this book. There was a princess who had a shadow. The shadow wouldn't stop crying, so desperate for aid, the princess approached the village of Magi to like help her. And then they turned the shadow into a real girl. So now there was like 2 princesses, a sister of light and a sister of shadow. I'm sure that's going to come back into play with the book. Mainly because like the 2 characters we see as like focal points, one of them's bathed in white costuming, the other one's bathed in black costuming. Then we just get like a present day flicker where we see here is what Zatanna's up to. Justice League, hanging out with people, dead parents, tarot cards, the fall of like the magic characters, which includes Wonder Woman, which it should. She's a magic character. And it is gorgeous. And it's literally just Zatanna like meditating, so she wakes up from her slumber. And she's like, okay, 3, 2, 1, it's showtime. And she's on a stage in full Zatanna attire. I love it. I love it. It looks so good. So clean. I think it's awesome how they just never change her costumes. You get the top hat, you get the fishnets, you can work wonders with that. Every artist has an interpretation of that character. Anyways, she is in San Francisco right now at a specific theater, and she's about to be putting on like a really interesting show. Like she's going on tour, and this is the theater they're putting it up. It is an old theater that's been around for like 150 years. It served like so many people. Like Anderson Fox, the White Lady, her father even, like, you know, did some stints there. But this isn't just, like, specifically, like, a magic show. They're doing, like, dance and illusions, and it's going to be, like, music and, like, a melding of, like, all the genres. Like, a really trippy show. Somebody who clearly had a Vegas stint traveling the country to be like, what if we just combined all, like, the Cirque du Soleil shit and, like, put some Lady Gaga on? I'm like, yeah, if you're going to do that with any character in comic books, Zatanna's the one to do it with. I like that. So let's do some rehearsals where we get some beautiful pages where we're seeing them rehearse. She's like falling into water tanks, and like there's like a weird rabbit trick and swords tricks, and like she's swinging on like a trapeze with somebody, and they like pretend to stab each other. But the young man that she's doing it with, his name's Adam, he misses and kind of like breaks the sword on like her harness. She's like, don't worry about it, it's okay. Like, we're just trying to get things working here properly. These are things we're going to fix, so when the actual show happens, we'll be okay to go. And it's gorgeous artwork. It's gorgeous artwork. I don't feel like I need to say it. If you're not familiar with Jamal Campbell's work, get familiar. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It is so good. So, couple of our characters like tell us about the Lady White, because she is somebody who was a big performer that used the stage back in the day. She was very famous in like the music scene and especially like old school film, like a vintage Hollywood type. And she was just so famous and like had her hand in every little pot. Like she was even like a fashion icon, and she was like one of those like Renaissance women who could do everything in like that era. And as those people are talking about that, we go see Adam, who's kind of freaking out, and Zatanna comes up to him and says, "Hey, let's just go for a walk. Like, I don't want you to freak out about like what just happened. One of the things you gotta know about like what magic is and what we do here is that it's kind of just a trick. It's an illusion. We have to sell the lie. And when we sell the lie, that's what the truth becomes. If we sell it as the truth, they believe it to be the truth. The classic George Costanza mantra, it's not a lie if you believe it's not a lie." And she's like, "Don't worry about it. These things happen. We all have little mistakes. The important thing is we just move past it. If you feel you don't want to be here, the audience is going to see that you don't feel like you belong here. So you have to work past that." He's like, "Okay, I think I understand." As that's happening, one of the paintings of the Lady White starts to rumble. And then big ghost hands start capturing all of her crew that's working on the show. And they get dragged into the paintings. And that is what the rest of this book is. And yeah, that is exactly what you should do with this character. Let's just riff on some really cool classic stuff. And when you have Jamal Campbell, who's so aware of how to do like everything for this book, it just feels so much more special, so much more cool. This really reminds me of the Scarlet Witch book that has been going on in a couple iterations from Steve Orlando, where it's just like, isn't it cool when we have like a fun artist who wants to like draw a very specific version of this character and we could do something incredible? I'm like, yeah, it is. It is really cool. So yeah, the Lady White wants to play with Zatanna for a bit and starts trapping her crew in like old movies, like her old movies. So one of the crew members, Andre, he's trapped in like an old Western, and the cowboy's like, "You're a black man, and that's weird." But she frees him, saves him, he punches the bigot, it works really well, sends him back to, the theater, and then she's able to do a really cool montage where she goes through a bunch of different movies, like a romance movie, a horror movie that's like sci-fi, and like one that's like just scary cadavers, and like a car chase movie, and like a shipwreck movie, and then we go to like the musical, and it's just like, the lettering is phenomenal in this book. It is so gorgeous. I love how everything looks like an old movie poster. I'm obsessed. Like, this is exactly what I love to see. We then go to Diamonds and Roses, which is the Lady White and Donnie Mitchell in a miraculous Magnicolor musical. I mean, not miracle. You know what I mean. Anyways, one of the last people we have to save, Arnie, he's in here. He's like, "My dream is to be in a musical with Lady White, and now I'm being killed by a giant ghost hand." But Zatanna springs into action, saves him. The last person she has to save is Adam. And she finds the Lady White, who's like dancing with her co-star. She's like, "You got one more." So we have to head to the Wayne Lyons and the Lady White classic noir film, Leave Them in the Rain. Oh man, this might be, in a book that has everything I love going on, this might be my favorite thing, because we're doing like the narration of like the noir detective. He's doing the narration, and he fires the bullet, and then afterwards the world belonged to her, because as he fires the golden bullet, Zatanna catches it in her mouth to save Adam. And we just listen to his narration. It's like, a single command uttered from her lips, the fabric of reality itself bent over backwards, just for the honor to acquire her will. She was magic. She was pure magic. And then Zatanna pauses him. And she's like, "That was really annoying." But the Lady White's there, just being like, "What? You don't like Lyons? He's so good. He's such a talented young guy." She's like, "Okay, you shut up too. What the hell is going on? Why did you take my people? What is this? Like, I get it, I'm sure you're mad we're like altering some sort of like power you have over the theater, but that doesn't really matter. Why don't you just tell me the truth about what's happening?" So she puts the spell on the Lady White to be like, "Just tell me the truth." She's like, "It's simply for the opportunity to witness your expression at this precise moment is why I did these things." And then a big magical sword stabs her in the chest, and we realize that it's Adam. And she tries to remove the sword, and then we see that the Lady White whispers something into Zatanna's ear, which caused her to like freak out, and she collapses onto the ground, and we see that like the Lady White's talking to somebody on the phone. Won't disappoint. We gotta go. So they leave her in this noir movie with a sword in her back, dying on the ground, and that's where the book ends. I'm like, oh yeah, baby, that's what I want to see. That's literally what I want to see. This is what I want to see. It's so good, it's so gorgeous. Everything we're doing here is working really well. Such a fun read. Such a fun read. It's beautiful. It's interesting. It's what the character should be. And I love when a talent can do that. So Zatanna, issue number 1. I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.